Hello, hello. It is Fabienne. I am so happy that you're here with us today. I want you to meet Neta. Neta, introduce yourself. You're one of the members of our program, and I want people to be inspired by you today. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you so much, Fabienne, for having me here. I'm Neta Talmor. I'm the creator of No Hassle website and all things no hassle, and I help entrepreneurs by creating super easy, affordable solutions to seemingly complicated problems.
I love the way you said that. So you, like as of this week, this is your 1 year anniversary in the program. And I would like to know what was not working in your business exactly 1 year ago that made you want to consider joining this program? What was not working?
So yeah, I think my situation is a little unique. A year ago today was about 4 years since I started my business. And it's the first business that I ever had in 25 years of entrepreneurship that was successful. So I was in a very unique situation for myself that my business was doing really well. And I think the months leading to discovering you and Boldheart, I understood that something has to change, that I need to do things differently, that whatever brought me to where I was a year ago will not get me to the next level. That really sunk for a few months leading to it. And I don't think it's typical, but I have never heard about you before I saw you. I don't even remember how, I never heard your name. I never heard of anyone who recommended you. Of course, afterwards, suddenly you popped in, and suddenly I realized that people I know knew you and so on. But I've never heard you. Somehow you popped on my feet. I don't even know. And Fabienne, within like 3 days, I signed up from never hearing about you, never knowing who you are, never having a coach, never being in a mastermind program, always doing things on my own. I just knew that this has to change. So you showed up.
Yeah, well, because it was divinely meant to be, as it is maybe for the person who's watching this. Neta, was it a question of cash flow? Was it team? What wasn't working? There were no systems. You're a pretty systems-oriented person to begin with.
Yes.
Yeah?
So at the time, I didn't know what was not working. That was why I needed someone from outside. The way I saw it and the way I decided to go for it is I thought of you because I was impressed in the little time that I saw. I thought of you as my consultant. That's how I saw it. I thought it's like bringing someone in to look at my business and tell me, here, and here, you can do things a little differently to bring the business to the next step. So for me, everything was working fine. But I reached a point where it couldn't grow further with the way it was.
Yes.
So I didn't know what it was. Yes, I have systems and so on, but I didn't realize what kind of systems I need to grow and how I need to leverage my team and so on to grow. So I already had a team, but it's different than the way I see it today. And I already had systems, but not to grow, just to maintain what I had.
Yeah. And one of the things that we talk about is to leverage your team so that you can scale, leverage your time so that you can scale, leverage your systems so that you can scale, and your marketing and your business model, but so you can gain your life back, because we're not supposed to. We're not supposed to work evenings, weekends, and vacations. What is it that you have gained so far in the program? What have you liked and what results have you gotten so far?
So I have to say that the biggest things for me are the mindset. Seeing my business in a more strategic way, I think that is the most important thing that I took. And it translates and it presents itself in many ways in the day-to-day business. But just looking at the business from a higher level, from a strategic level, as opposed to tactical, what do you do today? That was the biggest shift for me. And I can see how it's going to make the business, reach the goals that I knew I could reach, but much faster and easier. So that is the number one thing I took from this year. And more practical level, I love our activators. Every 3 months, implementing something working on it for a couple of days and then implementing it, and that makes a huge difference for my business. So that's the combination of that strategic view and then the implementation of a tactic is what works for me.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought the mindset up because one of the things that people don't realize at first when they're contemplating whether to join the Boldheart program is that we have what we call a mindset first methodology. And during those activators, we spend 2 days, like a bunch of it is to, let's say if we're going to talk about hiring and delegating and investing in team, we have to actually undo all the limiting beliefs, all the fears, all the rules, all the past failures around it. Because I can say, okay, here's how you hire a rock star team. But if somebody has all that mindset gunk getting in the way, there will be resistance. So we do the mindset first and then the strategy and the big stretch. What's happened to your business, like pragmatically, your results?
So I was never about stopping to working or, sitting on the beach. That's not me. And I'm you know me now.
Yeah.
And that's not what I was looking for. What I wanted, and definitely this has changed in the last year, is I wanted to focus more on the things that I enjoy doing, the things, my passion, things that I can do all day without having any not feeling any resentment doing, and so on, and doing less of the things that I really don't want to do in the business. And again, you know me, I don't mind working. I did it for all these years and I loved it and enjoyed it. But I realized that I can't continue to do those things if I want to grow. So definitely one of the biggest changes that I can say and measure from a year ago to today is that I spend much, much less time doing those things that I really shouldn't be doing and don't help the business. They just maintain it, but other people, qualified, amazing people on my team can do on my behalf and the way I like to do them. So I have more time, yes, to rest and nap, which I love napping, but also to focus on, money generating activities, ways to develop the business in a smarter way to grow and so on. So those things are measurable and I see them day to day. I can do things today that I couldn't do a year ago, 100%.
What do you think will be possible in the next 3 to 5 years as a result of what you're implementing now, the Boldheart way?
Yeah, I think I can triple to 10, no, I'm going to say 5x what I do now without working harder, just getting everything to grow while I continue to do the same thing. So that's that. I think that will happen. It will just happen.
Yeah, but it's like if you were to say that to somebody who's watching right now, she's thinking, you mean in 3 to 5 years, you can 5x what you're doing now by only doing what you love without working more or harder?
Yes.
You'd be like, yes, please.
Yes. Yes, I 100%. That's where this is going. And I couldn't do that if I continued to do what I did before, because I would reach my limit. I'm not, my business model is not one-on-one, yet I still had a limit to the capacity of what I could handle. Yeah. And that limit is now in a different place because, I don't have to do the things that I did before.
Yeah. Neta, in terms of the actual elements of the program, you've mentioned the quarterly activators where we get together for a couple days. And what other aspects of the program? What about your masterminding pod on a monthly basis, or your weekly Q&As, your strategy calls, your implementation sessions, your daily accountability? Which aspects of the program do you feel are the most supportive for you?
Yeah, so I do think that it depends on the personality. I can see different, members of the program, how we respond differently. For me, the activators, I love them. Look forward to them. And the 2 days just fly by. That's a non-issue. I loved my strategy and my yearly strategy session. It really was the roadmap to everything I did this year. And I'm looking forward to my second one coming up. Mm-hmm. And then my pod is awesome. So sometimes I'm like, the pod is coming up today. And it's almost 2 hours and we go through with different people and but at the end, I always feel so good. I just had the pod last week, and at the end I told my husband it was just so good. That's how I felt at the end. I'm not so much a person that needs accountability per se, like
No, because
daily accountability.
you're wired to finish
I'm
things.
wired differently, and that's okay. And I still get a lot from having the program and having the system of the way the program works, so I can tap into what works best for me.
Yeah, a lot of people who are considering this program are say like, will I have enough focus and attention on my business? And I'm like, oh my God, your masterminding pod is like your board of directors with the same people who know you, who care about you, your daily buddy, the weekly coaching. There's a lot of attention that can be really directly put on one person. What would you say to somebody who is on the fence and she's been watching and she's, maybe it's like 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years she's been, following us. What would you say to her about joining us?
Once I decided to go for it, so first of all, once I decided to go for it, I was all in. So don't, once you do it right. But also, I thought to myself, my approach is, okay, so what about the cost? How will that affect my business? And what kind of return on investment could I expect, and so on? I figured before I signed up that the cost, which for me was the first time ever that I did such a thing and such a jump and such a commitment, I figured that it would return itself in so many different ways. There is no risk. And my conclusion to myself was there's no risk. If it's not going to come as pure cash within a few months, it will come in as saving time for me. And then I can produce that. And if it's not going to work like that, it's just going to give me ideas, there were so many ways for me to justify it for myself. So I think the most important thing for someone considering this is to think about all the different ways that it could come back to you, and then just believe that it will come back even tenfold that, and in ways you didn't even expect. Because there's no way that someone doesn't get, the value of what you're giving. If you put the work in, then you will get results, period. And it will cover the expense for sure. But just the most important thing, grow your business, time, and so on. So for me, although I never did it, never heard of you, and so on, it just took me about 3 days to jump all in, because once I understood that's what I'm getting into, I had no resistance anymore at all.
Yeah, and that's a good thing you joined us, and the best is yet to come. And here's the thing, sometimes people are like, will I get my return on investment back in the initial 2 years or 1 year? And you have to look at this, like, there are the people who apply this, like you said, Neta, like, we're looking at this over the course of your lifetime. So there are people who were in the program 5 years ago who have made millions as a result in the last 5 years, like 5 million. So it's like the tuition is a bit of a drop in the bucket if you look at it over because you change as a person when you come here. Like, you become so much more strategic,
Yeah. And I really think that because leverage is for the point of the business where you're already making money and you understand that you need to invest, and people probably invest, I put money into Facebook ads, why does Zuckerberg need more money? I don't think so. It's not about you. I think, I'll put it here and it will come back. So that's just yet another way to invest and to understand that. For me, really, I'm coming back to what I said at the beginning. I understood that if I continue to do things exactly the same, I will remain in the same place. And actually, I will have more clients, but I won't be able to deal with them, which will mean it will hurt my business. Not only will my time and so on be consumed, it will hurt my business. So if you feel that you're at that point, that you have so much potential and you're not sure how to take it to the next level, I think that leverage is probably for you.
Thank you so much, Neta, for sharing your inspirational story. Like I said, there's somebody watching this that just will be moved by hearing what's happened for you. Incredible in just 1 year. So congratulations, and
so
can't
much.
wait to see what year 2 brings for you.
Yay!
Thanks again for
I'm
sharing.
sorry. Thank you,
Story.
Fabienne. Thank you
Lots
so
of love.
much. Bye
Thank
bye. Ciao. Au revoir.
you.